Hello friends, welcome to my channel Suneel at Digital. I hope you guys are doing good today and I'm also doing good. So today, I have brought one topic, on talent development. In my previous videos, if you see, we have already covered, the installation of Talent Cloud and how we can configure that. So, and how we can configure the repository as well, how we can configure Studio with TMC as well, right? So, we need basically one token to connect to the Talent Studio with cloud. And I already told you that, how we can generate the tokens through TMC. So today, I'll showcase you how we actually start the development for. Okay. So I already opened this. So if you see here, I took this connection I created last time, this one, and this is the project actually. Okay. If I added this, then we see this one, right? So this is the workspace, we created in our local actually. This is the token number I provided, and this is the TMC actually. So you can always check this. If you click this, check URL, and it should go success. Yes, so here you go, and this is success. It means now this studio is connected to TMC, right? So let's say okay, and then you see the branch actually. So right now, we're working in the main branch. Okay, we have not created any other branch actually, like local branch. Okay, so this is the main branch, right? But if you're working in in multi-user environment, then how you should do basically, you should work in a local branch actually. Okay, so that whatever the changes you do basically, okay, later you push your changes, because all the developers should work in their local actually, and then they should merge their code into the main branch. Okay, so and guys, you see the click here, right? So earlier, it was only Talend, right? But now the click has, the partnership with Talend. So that's why it's Click Talend, right? This is known as Click product. So it's coming up. Here you go. So this is the, interface basically for designer. Okay. So if you see here, this one, get is there, right? 1 second, let me. Yeah. So if you see here, this get, it means we are connected to the Git remote repository. Okay. And this is our project there, and this is the main branch. Okay. So how basically we should start our development? First, we should, create our local branch. So what we'll do, we'll just drop down this, okay, and we'll create one branch, new branch. So it's see the branch name, it's Kimbed. We can just put it like, let's say my name is Suneel, and I can put say Suneel underscore. Okay. So this I created one, the local branch, you see this one. It is asking like, shall we switch directly to my local branch? You can say okay. So basically what it's doing, it's creating the local branch, okay, and it's logging to your local branch instead of the main branch. So if you see here right now, currently it's, in the main branch directly, okay, but now it will come to our local branch what we created. You see, I created one branch, Suneel underscore local. It means this is a local actually, and I'm already in actually. So now I'm into this branch in my local. Okay, now I can say, okay, now I should start our development in our local branch actually. Okay, I hope this is clear. Okay, now if you see here, this part, this repository part, basically whatever the jobs we create in Talend, everything getting stored here only, right? Let's say this one. And how we create the job? So there is one button, standard button is there, right here. So what we can say, we can create one folder here. Let's say we create one folder, create folder, and I say just that folder. Okay, I create one folder here. So it's created one folder inside the standard. Now inside this, I want to create some kind of jobs. So just right click here and we can just create standard job. You can give some meaningful name. Let's say job underscore data load from file. Okay, so this is the name of job. Okay, just I am giving. You can just say description the same. You can put it here and just you can just finish this. Okay. So as soon as you create this, usually this job is created actually. Okay, so as soon as you done this, here we already got this palette. Palette is nothing basically how we want to build our job. Okay, so those components will take from palette. So what we gonna do here, we want to data load from a file. Okay, so it means we want to fetch the data from a file, right? So that could be any file. So there is one thing here. If you go to the file, since we are reading the data from file, go to the file. Now here the input is basically file. So just go to the input here, and let's say we are taking data from delimited file. So t file input delimited here. You can put it here like this. Okay, this, or how you can put it. See, this is the standard actually. Let's say t file input. Okay, delimited means delimited file. Let's say I want JSON file, then it will come t file input JSON. Okay, this is the this we can understand that way. Okay, then let's say we want to display the data into the console. Okay, so let's just do one thing. Just click here and just right click here and row and main, and just just type here log. Automatically it will come here to log row. So what it does basically, the data is reading from this file and it will display the records into this component. Okay, now if I click this here, then there are basically main three components are there. Click component here. So I am just touching this component, file component, so it's coming the component here. Let's say I put it here. Then for this, the component is this one. Whatever the properties we set, actually we do the setting in the component tab. Okay, so just click here and schema means what kind of schema is that actually? What is the file schema? So let's say we have some file like CSV file we have given, right? We have this CSV file. This is the path of the CSV file, let's say. Okay, and that is maybe comma delimited file is there. Okay, and the schema is basically, let's say we have like this. You can create the columns. Let's say the column, new column, column 2, column 3, and we can given the string types. Okay, like this. Okay, so these properties we have already set here, right? Then we have to run the job. In the run job, if you go to the target execution here, right? Click this. It's asking basically where you want to run your job. So right now I want to run the job in a local environment. I can run that here, right? Let's say if you want to run your job through some job server, that is located in in remote location. So what we need to do, we need to configure that remote job server into our Talend Studio. Okay, so then it will come here as in the drop down list. Okay, how it comes basically, we need to check here. I'll come to that point later. Okay, just try to understand like what happens here. Okay, at very high level, so that you can have the feeling of the development, how basically it works. Okay, so and then this and this we can run. Just click the run, it will fetch the data from here and it will show the data actually here. I hope this is pretty much clear, right? Now similarly, let's say we want to load the data into file. It means this is the output file, right? So right now it will means go to the output where I want T file output delimiter again, let's say. So I can do this here and just right click and like this. Okay, so what is happening? First, the data will come from here and it will display here. Okay, and then this data will propagate to this and it will load the data into this file. We need to give all the properties here. So what is the file name? What kind of a schema you want. So all these things we need to define here, right? So that's how basically the Talend job starts. Let's say for databases. So let's say we have the components here given for each kind of entities. Let's say file, we have seen this here. Let's say for databases, you have the option databases, right? Now let's say I want to connect for TDB input. It means I want to connect to the database as an input. But which database we want to go? Let's say I want to go with Oracle. So I just pick the Oracle and just apply. You see, so we'll get all the details for Oracle database what we need to fill the data. If you see here, we are seeing this warning. It says this component requires at least one external file to be installed, right? So what we need to do is click this install and it will install the jar file. You see this warning message is coming, right? So it's coming up. And just download and install all modules. Accept. I think it's taking some time because you see this file size 450, right? And this is, but it's coming up. I think it's working, but the size is big actually. That's what's taking time to download. So what it does basically, it takes the jar file and it will install here actually automatically. So right now it's downloading. So let it go on, okay, and let me give you some more thing here. So you understood, right? So in file basically we have the file components. Similarly for database we have the DB components, right? So how we go with basically, let's say we want to fetch the data from some database, let's say it is a database, then what we can do, we can do TDB input, okay, TDB input, and we can take the data. Let's say we want to write the data to Oracle database, then TDB output, okay, and then you can decide like TDB output which database you want, let's say Oracle, whatever you can pick, and that way we can get that particular components, okay. So these are the file components and the database components, okay. Just try to understand like how we can remember all these things. You do not need to mug up all these things, just to understand the the trend actually how it works, okay. Let's say for file I say T file input, right? It means we are reading the data from file as an input, okay. Let's say we want to write the data to a file T file output, right? Which version, kind of file, delimiter. So just put a delimiter and it will come automatically there. So that's how we do the development work here. Similarly, if you see here, we have the components here for 1 second. So this is database I explained you. Now we have the component processing. Processing means we want to process the data. In the processing means, let's say we want to do some kind of transformation, okay. Let's say we have in the source we have the 5 records, right, and there is one column is, let's say uh, first name, okay, and the last name and the salary. Okay, let's say I don't want the entire name. Okay, I want the first three characters, from your first name. Then we will use some functions actually. So what is happening? It will do one record via one. Okay, so basically that is the processing. It's processing the data. So processing means whatever the components you see, this is done actually. You see, now we don't see, we don't see that, error, right? Because we already download that. So let's say I want to load this data to a display, right? Display logo. You see, okay. But we need to provide all the details here, like Oracle, what is the SID, okay? All these things we need to, or like service name. We need to provide all the details like host name, database names, all. Then you won't see this, right? So that's how we basically develop the jobs. I hope guys this is pretty much clear from today's session. Okay, I'll continue the next session in the development itself. Okay, thank you guys.